Hey guys, what's up? It's abap from Fairlena. I'm going to do a commentary over one of my Dire Maul East jump run solos. So first of all, the spec I'm running here is SMDS. I'll link it below. I have tried this with other specs, and with the current gear, you can't kill the last boss fast enough. So because of that, you need sustain so that you can outlast him. And without SMDS with Siphon Life and Demonic Sacrifice, you don't have the sustain to outlast him. So I would say that the last boss at least is you can only kill him with the spec that I have. So here I'm just making my way through the courtyard watching for the patrols. The way I take this route through the courtyard because, well, it's easy once you get to the wall, and also where my mouse is right now between the branches, there's a Dusty Tome spawn, which can loot class books, Forors. So here I'm going to enslave the first stealth satyr that I see, and you'll see why in a minute here. So I'm going to enslave him. Make sure you put him on passive. Have him follow you into here. When you're here, you put him on stay right here, and the reason for doing that is because the satyr itself is level 56. So if you bring him too close to the boss, he will aggro. I pull the Fel Lash with a Curse of Doom. The idea here is that I let the pet tank the Fel Lash while the Curse of Doom takes down, and I want my pet to tank as much as I can. My OBS freezes here, but I'll still kind of commentate what is happening. So my pet's tanking, I'm letting the Curse of Doom tick, I'm applying my dots once my pet has enough threat. Eventually my pet will get low, and I'll dismiss him. And like I wait until he's around 500 health to dismiss him. And the reason I dismiss him is because if you get the killing blow, then you get the loot. And if the Felash gets the killing blow, then you don't get the loot. So I'm dismissing him around 500 health, applying a corruption, and just hiding him while I finish off the Felash. And if you need to, you can fear the Felash. Just make sure you're watching his pathing and use a Curse of Recklessness to bring him back if he goes too far. So yeah, it's kind of inconvenient that my OBS froze here, but this run was like really clean and really fast, so I figured even with the freeze, it's still worth posting. So I've killed the Felash and I've killed the Satyr. I killed the Satyr by dismissing him when he was low health and just applying a corruption. The pods on the ground here, the one that just opened up, sometimes when you walk over them, they spawn the lashers. Sometimes you can loot them, sometimes it spawns like a poison cloud, and sometimes it roots you. So just watch out for those, and make sure you have health if you're gonna walk over one. So here I'm gonna heal to full, and I'm gonna enslave the Hellcaller, and I'll kind of talk through what I'm doing as I'm pulling him. This pack can be tricky. The imps have a fire blast that deals around 500 damage. So if all 5 of them hit you, it's a lot of damage at once. So you're going to enslave the demon, let him get aggro on the imps, put him on passive instantly, unclick the fireball so he doesn't use the fireball, and then use his Rain of Fire. Once his Rain of Fire is down, you Curse of Agony and Corruption all of the imps. And while his Rain of Fire is on cooldown there for a little bit, I have him attack one of them, and then just Rain of Fire again. And I like to keep, you can let the Hellcaller die, but I like to keep him alive because he owns for hydrospawn, and you'll see his damage, it's pretty insane. So I heal him up just a little bit. You don't want to heal him to full because you're going to kill him eventually, right? And you're going to have aggro on hydrospawn. So the pet's not going to take that much damage. Hydrospawn can turn and cast on him, but it's more typical that hydrospawn dies before your pet will. So I leave my Hellcaller there on stay. I make sure I uncheck Rain of Fire and check Fireball. And then once I have Threat, I have my Hellcaller start attacking. And you'll see the numbers that the Hellcaller actually does. Like, he actually hits really hard. Like, that Fireball just hit for 822. So yeah, you just Curse of Doom and then you jump up and down on this lip here. It's you kind of find a rhythm to it once you get used to it. But yeah, once he spawns the Hydrolings, you just put a corruption on them, and they run really fast. You don't really want them to hit you, so you kind of have to stutter a little more when they are up. But once you kill these two, he doesn't spawn anymore. And I just dismiss my pet here because Hydrospawn's dead, and I want to kill the Hellcaller now. And then you loot. Hydrospawn can drop a two-handed weapon that vendors for 5.5 gold. He can also drop Essence of Water, which on my server sells for around 20 gold. And all of the bosses can drop class books, which vary in price. So yeah, I just walked over another one of those pods and it spawned lashers, so I'm just taking care of those real quick. So here I'm going to enslave this this stealth satyr. Sometimes there's more than one stealth satyr in this area, like one in this corner here where I am right now, and one in the hallway that I'm about to be. So I usually, the first one I find, I enslave it and take it with me. And if there's not a second one, then I just dismiss it and kill it. So right now I'm looking for the second stealth satyr. And I don't think there was one in this run. So he can patrol all the way up here. And I don't see him, so I'm gonna run back into the hallway and kill the satyr that I have enslaved right now. So there are various ways you can kill this guy. I just kind of like to kite him around while my dots are on him. You can fear him, but you know, it's dangerous if he runs too far away. He can aggro other packs, so you do have to be careful. You can, whenever he's feared, if he runs too far, just use a Curse of Recklessness and it'll bring him back. Like I do right there. The fear actually breaks at the same time though. I just finish him off. Yeah, and I get unlucky. I get slowed on the first auto right there. So while I'm slowed, I just take the time to eat and drink to full. Making my way to the Hellcaller pack here. So you can actually skip this Hellcaller pack if you want, but I choose to kill it because this pack is very high value. The imps are non-elite, they're pretty easy to kill, especially with the enslaved Hellcaller, and they can drop felcloth, demonic runes, rune cloth. They drop a lot of raw gold, like they drop like 20 silver, 15 silver each. So I choose to kill it. You don't have to if you don't want to. And then I dismiss the Hellcaller. I missed the line of sight right there. He actually does a lot of damage, so you do have to be careful against him. You can always cast faster than he can too as well, so keep that in mind. For Zefram, you want to keep up Shadow Ward 100% of the time, because just in case he sacrifices you, you want that damage to be absorbed. He'll still heal off of it, but like a bad sacrifice, like if you get sacrificed at a bad time, it can just straight up kill you. It does a lot of damage. So I pull him and jump down and run back to the spot that I kill hydrospawn. And we're going to be using the ledge, the same ledge that we used for hydrospawn. It kind of bugs their pathing, and we're going to abuse that again on Zefram. In this boss, you kind of have to be more careful with the line of sight. You can use the pillar for the line of sight, but sacrifice is a really fast cast time, so you want to be very careful there. You see the cast bar under his nameplate, it's very fast. So if he starts casting it, immediately go behind line of sight. And you kind of see how I'm juggling him here. As soon as he is the furthest distance away, I jump back up. And jump down just as he gets to me. Or just before he gets to me. So the most important thing here is that you don't get sacrificed. As long as you don't get sacrificed, it's fine. Even if you do get sacrificed, if you're at full health with a Shadow Ward, you'll be fine. You'll be just fine. You'll live with like 60% health. But of course it takes a lot longer because he heals off of that. And the reason I don't have an enslaved demon here is because he can sacrifice your demon. And he will heal off of that as well. And the demon will be outranged and break the enslave, and then just come back and attack you. So it's generally not a good idea to use a pet here on Zefram. So here we're just going to finish him off. And of course, on like one of the cleanest runs I have, I get like some of the worst loot possible. So while I'm walking back, so after you kill Zefram, you can go talk to the tree who will open the door to the last boss. So you'll see the pathing I take in the courtyard, and while I'm walking to the last boss room, I'll talk a little bit about the gold estimations. So because I'm able to run this in under 30 minutes, we're running 2 runs per hour. Each run really varies in the amount of gold you get. So I would say minimum you're making around 10 to 15 gold per run minimum, and of course like the potential for upside is pretty massive. So each boss can drop class books. They can also drop forors, which at the so early into Dire Maul being out, it's going to be very expensive. I actually got a forors yesterday, the day before recording this run, and sold it for 600 gold. So as far as the gold estimates, say you're running 2 runs an hour like I am, you're getting 2 to 4 rich thorium veins at the end of each run. So say you're getting 1 crystal every 2 hours. I would estimate the gold per hour to be around 50 to 60 gold baseline. So around the same as Maradon, but the potential for upside is a lot better than Maradon. And because of that potential for upside, I would say that Dire Maul East is a better gold farm than Mardon if you have mining. So here, you want to be careful of these trees, the tree guards on the sides. They have a really long aggro range, so you want to be careful around them. And where I'm walking right now, you can reset mobs from here. So if you pull a tree, just jump onto the little ledge that I'm on right now, and then they'll reset. So you have to kill these flower packs. And the best way I found to do that is this little combo I'm doing here. Put a Curse of Doom on, and then banish. Kill the lashers, and then deal with the big guy after. So I'm going to get off a Shadow Bolt and then banish him again for 20 seconds. He actually resisted. Oh, yeah. So he resisted, and I didn't want to banish him and lose the Curse of Doom damage. So I just decided I would kite him, Death Coil and kite him. So if things go wrong, you can just coil and fear or coil and run. Let the Curse of Doom tick. And again, when you're running up and down this ramp, you need to be careful of the tree guards because they will aggro if you step any further out than I am. So I apply a Curse of Doom and banish him, and then I'm able to gain some ground on him. Oh, I forgot to talk about the elixir buff that I have. It's a Mighty Troll's Blood elixir, and that elixir gives you 12 health regen per 5 seconds, which isn't that much, but it does add up. And you don't really need it for the first two bosses, but I would say it's helpful for the last boss, but it's definitely not a game changer. Not mandatory. I just like to have it, and it's very cheap to craft. And of course, I'm always carrying major healing potions. I pretty much always have to use one on the last boss. It's very rare that I don't. And you'll see me looking because there's a tree that patrols down all the way here. So you'll see me looking and checking for him. And I don't see him, so I'm good to pull the next pack. In this pack, since it's a Fel Lash, it has less health than the Death Lash, and it doesn't apply a poison. So I just straight up just pull him and dot him up and fear him. And you want to be careful because if they get feared into the trees, they will pull the trees. So stay close to him so you can Curse of Recklessness him if he gets too far away. I get really close to dying there. And you don't have to do this pack like I'm doing here. You can do the same banish and with Curse of Doom strat that I did on the Death Lash if you'd like. I get really close to dying. So again, I'm checking for the patrol that's coming down, always checking. Oh, I forgot to talk as far as the gear requirements for this. I would say so. You'll notice I'm wearing some tier 1 gear. I have a mage blade, but the rest of my gear is mostly Prebis gear. So I would say you don't need specific gear for this. I would say if you have less than Priebus, it's going to be a lot harder. But I would say like a good balance of spell power gear and survivability gear, as in like high stamina gear, is the best for this. So you want to find a good balance, because the thing is, the last boss, he drains your mana and he puts a nasty dot on you that does a lot of damage. So with no health, he'll just kill you eventually, right? And with no damage, he won't die and he'll kill you, right? So you want to find a good balance. And so tier 1 gear is really good for this. If you have Priebus gear and no raid gear, I would say getting some Necropile set items from Scholomance would work well. It has high stamina values on them. But yeah, again, you don't want to stack full stamina and you don't want to stack full spell power. You want to find a good balance. So here I'm just kiting the Death Lash down while my Curse of Doom ticks. And you can use this pillar right here to kind of juke him. I don't like how close he is to me, so I just grenade him so I can get some extra ground. So now that all the plants are dead, we can tackle the last boss. So the way that I do this is I jump onto the pillar and then jump down onto the ledge. And you want to be careful because depending where he is, he can aggro on you if you're not careful before you're ready. So he's padding over to the pillar right now, and you'll see I kind of move. You want to stay out of his line of sight, because he moves a little bit to the right of the pillar, so you have to move a little to the left to stay out of his line. And there's a tome there on the ground as well. So when you're ready to pull him, you open with the Shadow Bolt, Immolate, Curse of Doom, and then fully dot him. And you'll see I'll be kind of shimmying him, because whenever you jump up onto the ledge, he has to run a little bit further than whenever you jump down. So doing that, you can outrange his dot. It gets a little harder to do that whenever the imps are there, so it's good to do that early on to keep your resources topped. I think here he actually does get a dot off on me. Or maybe not. Oh yeah, he does. Yeah, so there's the dot. It does 800 damage, around 800 damage on applying, and around 150 per tick. So it's pretty nasty. And then I summon my skeleton here for a little bit of extra damage. And he can actually eat the dot for you. He can target your pet instead of you. Like, see there, he just targeted my pet with the dot. See, my pet's got the disease cloud around him. So it's really nice if your pet can eat one of those for you. And there, I'm a little low on health, so I go ahead and Death Coil. I like to use my cooldowns a little early, so just in case I need to use it again, that I can. So there are the imps. I kind of want to get them synced in like the same like path. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do here, is jump around and get them synced up. And oh, and you want to bandage whenever you can. Whenever you don't have the dot on you and he's not in satyr form, you want to get a bandage off. Sometimes I use like 3 bandages per pull. So here I just grenade the minions and get them stacked up. Whenever he uses the mana drain on you, you want to burn all the mana that you have as fast as possible. So as soon as he applied the mana drain to me, even though the dots weren't like fully off, I just reapplied new ones because my mana will be gone anyways, so I might as well. So here I'm trying to range the dot, but wasn't successful. A little scary there, but I got a lucky miss. So I potion there, and I start putting siphon life on some of the imps to get some health regen back. And you can do that to relieve a little bit of the pressure, but the thing is, if there's too much pressure, then it's not a good idea to do that. Like if the boss is low and you're pretty much depleted of resources, then just go for the kill on the boss. But if you have a little bit of extra resources like I did in this run, then you can go ahead and siphon life on some of the imps, and it'll give you some nice health regen. And here I have the mana drain on me, and I'm getting low on health, so I'm kind of just waiting for the mana burn to fall off so I can regen some mana. I put an amplified curse of agony on him. So as soon as I get enough mana for the corruption, I apply it. And he dies here, so then I'm safe to tap and start killing the imps. The imps don't do a lot of damage, but they do wreck your durability, so you don't really want to get hit by a lot of them. So here I'm just applying some siphon life so I can regen a little faster and kill the imps a little faster. And once I'm good, I just start putting a corruption on them because it kills them faster. So yeah, now that all the imps are dead, you can go loot the boss, loot the tome, and take your reward of 2 to 4 rich thorium veins. Hope this video helped some of you guys that are interested in these runs. Again, the baseline gold estimation here is around 50 to 60 gold. Of course, there's pretty large potential for upside, as long as you're lucky with crystals, books, felcloth, vendor drops, etc. But yeah, I've been streaming these runs on my Twitch channel pretty much every day now since Dire Maul came out, so if you have any questions, just feel free to drop by. I'll answer any questions you guys have. My Twitch handle is abap_from_fairlena. I'll have it linked in the description. So come by, drop a follow, subscribe to the YouTube, and good luck with your Dire Maul East runs. Thanks for watching. Peace.